Welcome to Chelsea, Cole Palmer. His performances have demanded a starting berth.
He might be Chelsea's star man now, but the future could very well hold a different story for Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer is under the white hot light because he's been a little bit out of form, and then a very famous pundit said he's actually too good for this team. The team is the problem, and at that exact moment, I felt we needed to have this discussion.
He may have been changing the game for Chelsea in recent weeks, but all of that leads to huge questions now. Has Cole Palmer suddenly become too good for this Chelsea team? Why does Cole Palmer need to leave Chelsea? But why would leaving also prove very difficult? Against Real Betis in the Conference League final, Palmer was the difference. With the game tied at 1-1, Palmer provided 2 assists to Enzo Fernandez and Nicholas Jackson before Moises Caicedo scored the 4th to seal the win for Chelsea. An impressive performance and the latest in a long line of what's now become normal for Palmer at Chelsea. So getting into then, the big question. Why does Cole Palmer need to leave Chelsea? He answered that himself after the Conference League final.
Yeah, I was just sick of getting the ball and going backwards and sideways, so I thought when I next get the ball, I'm just gonna go, and yeah, it worked. Yeah, I was just sick of getting the ball and going backwards and sideways, so...
Honestly, his words reveal a lot. Palmer here talks about how sick he was passing the ball sideways and back, or in this context, how sick he was of playing robotic football, how sick he was of playing Enzo Maresca's football.
5, and in the shape, there's not too much freedom. I think at the start of the season, we tended to note some of these sort of movements from these number 10s into these wider areas.
Enzo Maresca's football, he wants his team to be patient on the ball. It's positioning play mixed with high pressing and fluid transitions, and fast counter-attacks on the break as well. But even with all of this, there's a problem. If we're to interpret what Palmer said about being sick of passing sideways with the ball, could it then be that Enzo Maresca's tactics force Palmer to play the way he complained about, passing sideways and back? Well, it's a complicated answer. On paper, the shape of the Chelsea team doesn't look like there's too much freedom. But you see guys, the reason behind this is because of the teams they play. Unfortunately, teams have gotten an idea of just how dangerous Chelsea can be when the players have space, and in turn, it has forced the team to become even more possession-based under Maresca. For context, in the first 16 matches of the season, Chelsea averaged 56.9% possession. 9 matches past that, and the possession count was up to 62.2%. They touched the ball more in that period, with 753.4 compared to 696.4 in the first 16. The direct attacks in the 9 games after was at 1.8 per 90. In the first 16, it was 3.1 per 90. So how does all of this affect Cole Palmer then? Before I get into that, hit that subscribe button to Futbol Historia if you haven't yet for more videos like this.
To try to give Cole more space, because we know that if we are able to contact with him, he has quality and he is going to help us to win the game.
This is Enzo Maresca's original idea with Cole Palmer. Maresca understands that a player like Cole Palmer needs space. He needs to have the ball more and the freedom to move around to cause damage. But unfortunately, teams wouldn't just sit back and watch him do that anymore. So maybe Cole Palmer wasn't necessarily referring to Enzo Maresca and his tactics. Maybe Cole Palmer was referring to something else, something that could make him leave Chelsea in the very near future.
They were to hold on to the ball and provide bundles of quality to put the ball onto Enzo's head, onto Nico's foot to score 2 great goals and completely change the game.
He's the one, man. He's the truth. I feel like when we need him to be there, he's there. Like a lot of us, he had a quiet first half.
2 Chelsea players. Cole Palmer is the centre of discussion. The same outcome. They both talk about Palmer's individual quality and how he changed the game for Chelsea. And this could very well become a huge reason why Cole Palmer decides to leave the club very soon. With each game, it becomes increasingly clear that Cole Palmer is, in terms of quality and output, the best player in that Chelsea team. The stats back this up. 15 goals and 8 assists in the league this season. That's 23 goal contributions. The assist count gets up to 12 in all competitions. Cole Palmer created 85 chances in the league this season, joint second behind Bruno Fernandes in first place. It's all a good thing, but this is just building up the idea that for Palmer, it's a problem. He had the most goal contributions for Chelsea this season and created the second most big chances in the Premier League, with 24, just behind Mohamed Salah. That same number puts him 5th on the top 10 list in this category in Europe's top 5 leagues. Cole Palmer isn't just a bit of everything for Chelsea, he's become everything going forward. So how is this a problem then? It's easy to understand what the idea with this Chelsea team is. They're building a project, and we will get to how this affects Cole Palmer soon, and similar examples. But the point here is, if you take Cole Palmer out of that Chelsea team in the long run, it doesn't seem like there is a player who can at least attempt to put up the numbers he does, or perform like him. 2 seasons in, and he's been Chelsea's top scorer at the club. Yes, Nicholas Jackson offers more in terms of pressing and the work he does for the ball, but from a goals perspective, even he, the man who is supposed to be leading the line for Chelsea, hasn't gotten as much as Palmer has. No one has more assists, no one creates more chances, and to top it off, the ineffectiveness of this young team, particularly from Cole Palmer's standpoint, has been annoying to watch. Scratch that, really annoying to watch. Cole Palmer has created the second best big chances in the Premier League, and yet somehow Chelsea finished the 2024/25 season as the team with the second most big chances missed in the league this season. Nicholas Jackson comes in 4th on that list with 19 big chances missed this season, a shot conversion rate of 13.2% in the league. Of the players in the top 5, only Ollie Watkins has a lower shot conversion rate with 19.1%. We're showing this to show the options Cole Palmer has had to work with this season. Players like Pedro Neto and Noni Madueke haven't been as clinical. Madueke has the second most big chances missed in that Chelsea team with 14, after Cole Palmer with 89 and Enzo Fernandez with 79, the next Chelsea player. Third on the list with the most chances created in that Chelsea team is Pedro Neto with 47. Sancho comes in 4th with 46-38, Madueke 5th with 32. Then, of course, you look at the goals. After Palmer with 15, Nicholas Jackson has a respectable 10 non-penalty goals in the league this season. Decent, but it's what is around Cole Palmer, particularly in attack, that's the issue. Amongst the attackers, Madueke has 7, Pedro Neto has 4, and Nkunku and Sancho with 3 each. Now we've highlighted all these stats and shown the data to provide the angle. Cole Palmer has been carrying this Chelsea team, particularly in attack, for a long while now, and honestly, if Chelsea doesn't either get an improved squad or have the current crop of players develop fast, it then becomes a case of Palmer being too good for the team. That could be a huge issue. Then again, the Chelsea transfer policy is clear. The club wants to sign young talents to improve them. The idea is to grow these talents at the club, signing superstars or players at the peak of their careers, or primes players, who are within that 26 to 28 year range. Well, that isn't going to be happening anytime soon. It just means Cole Palmer is stuck with what he's got. A Chelsea team that's improving, that he has to be a part of. That's one half of the reason he has to leave. The other half, it's before IT gets too late.
But how far do you think they are away from really competing and challenging for the Premier League?
I think we're a couple of years off, if I'm honest. I really do. Now, I don't want that to be headline stuff, but when I look at Man City, Liverpool, I think they're stronger than us at the moment. Arsenal have been really consistent as well. And
John Terry sums this up nicely. We know what the project is, what the idea is, but this Chelsea team is years away from challenging from the Premier League. It's something even the players and the managers continue to echo last season.
Say consistently that you're not in the title race. Do you still maintain that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
Are you in a title race?
I don't know what that is. I don't even know what you're
That's
talking about.
a nice way of deflecting the question. Are you competing with Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool?
They were not in the title race, and rightly so. The drop-off from December to mid-March was crazy. Chelsea went from being a couple of points off league leaders Liverpool, even leading the league, albeit temporarily at some point, to having to battle for a place in the top 4 that went down to the final day of the season. Again, if you're Cole Palmer, long-term, this is another problem.
When do you think it's realistic that you can look at your team and think, no, we should be challenging for titles for Champions League and being at that top level?
I don't know, it just depends how quick we progress really. with a new manager.
Exciting.
Palmer has been asked about it here. He talks about it here, and he answers that it depends on how quickly the squad progresses under Enzo Maresca. Then again, we're talking about a player who has designs of one day becoming the best player in the world.
So where are you placing that one?
Now, obviously everyone wants to win that.
Yeah.
I think these are different to that though.
Okay.
Because obviously every single player who plays football wants to win that.
To win the Ballon d'Or, even Palmer knows he has to win a team award first. Piece all of this together, and it's Cole Palmer telling himself if he wants to win the top awards as a pro, he has to either do it with a Chelsea team that is ready to win now, or just leave it as a fantasy. This Chelsea team is building to win in the future. It's a project. It's not going to happen immediately. In light of this, it opens up another angle. Cole Palmer is the star of a Chelsea team that is still in the making. Alongside players like Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, Palmer is the future. But when does this future for these players eventually come around? Truth is, this happens a lot in football. The main attraction of a team at some point will demand more from the manager to know about the project.
I was going to commit myself for the next 5 years. I didn't really want to wait and become part of Alex Ferguson building a team to get there in 5 years' time.
Wayne Rooney talks about it here and how he almost left United when he found out the club wanted to rebuild, a process that was going to set United back a further year or two in challenging for top honours in the league and Europe. Honestly, there is no questioning Cole Palmer's talent.
Football needs him. It needs players like him. In a day and age where the game has got a little bit robotic, where players will keep it simple, you don't see too many players, too many mavericks, if you like, that we saw throughout many years. It needs someone like Cole Palmer that just does things differently.
He's that type of player, not systematic. The game is full of players now who play their best football as a result of systems, coaches or managers, building teams or structures to get the best out of them. For players like Cole Palmer, the thought of having to wait that long for an existing club project to become reality might be too much to handle. Pretty soon, he might just be fancying a move to a bigger team with bigger aspirations very soon. But even that won't be easy for Cole Palmer. I mean, simply just moving to a new club? Just like that. Palmer knows the deal.
His contract, Cole Palmer's contract, 2033.
Exactly. And you don't know what's going to happen, so it does feel remarkable.
He's tied down to a Chelsea contract that lasts up until 2033. That is huge, given what he is to the club and just how important he is. Again, we've touched on the fact that he's the team's star player. You can just imagine that if it did get a case where Palmer is still under contract at the club and wants to leave, Chelsea will demand a mega transfer for him, something that could change what the biggest transfer deals in the history of the sport have been. It won't be out of the picture. That he needs to leave, though, doesn't necessarily mean he'd want to right now.
You're going to be in the Champions League next season. What do you think we can expect from this side?
You know, this competition is a good step for us. You know, we're playing in this because last season we deserved to play in this, like the manager said. Now we're in the Champions League and it's about kicking on again.
In his words, winning the UEFA Conference League and achieving the top four is a big win with Chelsea. It shows that the team is in the right direction, and Palmer knows that right now, continuing as the main attraction in this Chelsea team wouldn't be such a bad idea. A player like Palmer? Clutch.
England in the Euros final on the score sheet, and then today 2 assists. How much do you enjoy being in those big moments and performing when it really matters?
Yeah, I feel like I love finals, you know, like all the finals I played in, I feel like I've contributed.
He wasn't joking when he said he loves playing in finals. His record in finals title-deciding games for both Manchester City and Chelsea is very impressive. He scored in the UEFA Super Cup final for Manchester City versus Sevilla back in 2023, scored in the Community Shield for Manchester City against Arsenal a couple of seasons back, and scored in the final of the Euros for England in the 2-1 defeat to Spain last summer, and now bagged a brace of assists and the Man of the Match award in the final for Chelsea versus Real Betis. Chelsea tends to do well in cup competitions, and while this is great, there's just something about winning a league title that makes it worth the celebrations a bit more at the end of the season. Whatever happens though, it will be a battle. On Chelsea's part, from Todd Boehly to Enzo Maresca, the message is clear. If this team wants to continue in this pattern of winning competitions and eventually becoming the team the project wants them to be in the coming years, the key to that will be Cole Palmer. On the other hand, this depends on how much Cole Palmer wants to be a part of the system. Would he be willing to wait that long until Chelsea is ready to compete? Or will he eventually trade the team for a big move from one of European football's elite clubs when the offer comes? It'll be very interesting to see how all of this pans out. Imagine seeing Cole Palmer at Real Madrid in the near future. Seems crazy now, but that was what everyone thought about Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving Liverpool until he did. He's now Real Madrid's Galactico at right back, but there's a secret reason the club chose him. Click the next video to find out why Real Madrid chose Trent Alexander-Arnold.